Do you ever get that feeling of you end a book and you're really excited to start the next book, especially one you've been wanting to read? Because that's what's happening right now. I've been wanting to read this book. It's the secret read that we do, a mystery book every month that we don't reveal during our TBR, and we do a vlog, and that's where we reveal whatever theme that we had done. So this month we're doing a Christmas read, obviously because it's December. So here is what my Christmas read is. It's Lisa Unger's Christmas Presents.
Today is the day that I'm going to reveal my mystery book for December. Jen and I decided to go with a Christmas theme book. And if you guys are new here or you don't know, every single month we select a mystery book that we keep mystery, even from each other. And we will reveal that book either in its own vlog that month or in our wrap-up video for the month. And this month we decided to go with a Christmas theme. My Christmas theme book this year is gonna be Christmas Presents by Lisa Unger.
It is a new one by her. I am a huge fan of Lisa Unger. The first one I had read is called Under My Skin, I think is what it's called. Let me check real quick. Yes, Under My Skin is the one that I read. And I also read Last Girl Ghosted. And the one I absolutely loved was Confessions on the 745. I didn't get a chance to read The Secluded Cabin 6 or something like that. That was her latest one from last year. And I never had a chance to pick it up. It's still on my TBR. But I thought this was the perfect opportunity for a Christmas read to slot this in for our mystery read for this month. So I'm going to dig in to this. I can't wait to read it.
Lisa Unger is an author I read a long time ago. I've read 3 of her books total. The most memorable one was Ink and Bone. I received an ARC of that book a long time ago and read it. I haven't read her recently, but she is a really well-known thriller author. I'm not real big into romance, not real big into holiday romance, but give me a Christmas thriller and I'm there. Even sometimes a cozy Christmas mystery, I can probably do that. I might read one of those this month, I'm not sure, but right now I'm gonna start Christmas Presents by Lisa Unger.
So this one's going really fast. I'm gonna end up finishing it before recording much because it's just easy to read, really. The only thing that's kind of giving me pause is it's not seen from one main character's point of view. You're getting tossed around to different characters. So sometimes I struggle with that when I don't have a lot of time to read it once and trying to remember like what character I'm in and what has happened. But it's about a bookseller. She actually owns the bookstore. She survived a killer, but she knew the killer. It's in this small town, and a podcaster comes to town that she's very familiar with. I still think there's a backstory with this podcaster, but he is trying to research what happened with, it's almost like a serial killer. He thinks the wrong person is in jail, and she believes who's in jail is the person who tried to kill her. And her name's Rachel. And Rachel's father is a sheriff, and he feels that it was more than just the guy who's in jail. And that guy's named Evan Handy. And Rachel had dated him in high school. So you get a couple flashbacks, and then you're also seeing from the perspective of a girl who gets kidnapped. And I guess we're going to see her get murdered. I'm not entirely sure. That's where I'm starting to get confused because it's jumping around so much. But I have a couple theories so far. I just think there's something going on with this podcaster, this guy. I don't know. I don't know if he's the killer yet or had helped Evan, but I know something's going on. So that's where I am right now.
Hello, everyone. So I sat down this morning to start reading Christmas Presents by Lisa Unger, and my intention was just to read a couple of chapters to get into the book, and kind of figure out what was going on in the book, because other than the fact that it takes place at Christmas time because of the title and the picture on the cover, and that Lisa Unger wrote it, I really had no idea what this was going to be about. It's no secret I like to go into my books blind, and I just felt like this would be a good book just based on I know the author, and it's obviously a Christmas book. But I am flying through this book. I am already halfway. I'm on page 132. This book's flying so fast. The 132 pages went so quick. The font is really big in this book, and there is a lot of white space on the page. So it's a really, really fast read. Here, let me show you guys what it looks like, which is very different than the book that I just read prior to this one, where it was like a super long fantasy book, tiny writing, lots of words on thin little pages. But I'm flying through this, and it has been so fun so far. This book feels a lot like Dark Corners by Megan Golden. If you guys have not seen my review on that book, I was able to get an ARC copy of that book and I reviewed it. I will link it up here. If you liked Dark Corners by Megan Golden, you will probably really like this book. If you like this book, you will probably really like Dark Corners by Megan Golden, because they have the same vibe. It's kind of the same trope as far as a murder, and there could possibly be an innocent person in jail, and there's a big podcaster trying to solve this mystery. So it also takes place in a small town, which I find very charming. So yeah, that's where we're at. It's kind of making me, the way that I'm probably going to finish this book today, just as quickly as it's reading for me. And it's kind of making me want to find another like fun Christmas thriller, or maybe a cozy Christmas mystery. So I have to run into Walmart real quick to pick up a few things, but I think I'm going to check their book section and see. Sometimes Walmart surprises me with their books, but I'm going to check their book section to see if I can find anything along the lines of this book that I think is interesting for the Christmas holiday season.
Something just hit me after I read a chapter. Have you guys ever had it hit you suddenly in the story when you realize, oh, that's why the title makes sense, or it's, that's why the book was named whatever it was? I feel like a few books are obvious, but then others, and I forgot to mention in Iron Flame the part where they were translating the journal, and they kept coming to this word that at first they called it iron something, but then they ended up translating it to Iron Flame, and I thought, oh, that's why she called it Iron Flame. Anyway, so for this one, I just thought it was because it takes place around Christmas, and I wasn't thinking too much of it. But I just read a chapter, and then after I kept going, it kind of hit me. I was like, wait a minute, that might be a clue for something. So the character that survived her friends getting murdered, and she's like the only survivor that we know of. There are 2 missing, so I'm not sure yet if they're going to end up, we're finding they're murdered too. But she gets a Christmas present every year, and it's left like at her house. And she thinks the guy she helped put into jail, Evan Handy, is the one who is sending her these presents somehow. Her father and a podcaster think there's a possibility either it was someone else entirely or someone else helped him. So that is also in the mix. But the presents that she has gotten are just, they list them, and I just thought it was odd, especially that they're listed. A crystal hedgehog, a metal dragonfly, a working compass, a shell, a glass ladybug, a clay lotus flower, a silver heart locket with a seed inside. I thought that one was especially weird. A purple geode, a leather-bound volume of Rilke poems with an orchid pressed into its pages. And then this latest one that she opens is a small wooden box, like a music box. I turn the handle and it plays an odd, discordant tune that is somehow eerie and calming all at once. And that's when she thinks that they're all from Evan. And I don't know what to think about that. I feel like it's a clue, and I'm not sure if it's the killer is still at loose and he is playing with her, knowing that she is alive, or if you'll find out it really is the person in jail and just, messing with her. I'm not sure. There's obviously more of the story, and I'm sucked in, so I want to find out more.
Okay, I'm back. I did not find anything at Walmart. The book section at Walmart was a mess. There were hardly any books in it, so I don't know if it's because of Christmas. People are like buying lots of Christmas presents for people, but the book section was pretty empty and it was very messy. So I didn't film any of it because it just looked a mess. But I was thinking that maybe I have some holiday cozy mysteries in my physical TBR at home because I might have bought some in the past and not read them yet. I know I've bought a few because I do want to have kind of a small holiday book collection. So last year I bought a book or two, and this year I'm probably going to buy Christmas Presents by Lisa Unger once I get done reading it if I really like it, because the copy I have now I checked out from the library. But I do think I might have some on physical TBR. So I'm going to run home and check my physical TBR first to see what books I might be able to scrounge up. Hello everyone. I was able to find a cozy Christmas theme mystery in my physical TBR. I seem to collect books over the years and I thrift them a lot, so if they're just $1 or $2 and they seem interesting, I usually grab them. And I was able to pull one out of my collection. And this one is called Christmas Cupcake Murder by Joanne Fluke. I've read a couple of her cozy mysteries before in this series. This is the Hannah Swenson series, and they're really fun, cozy little mysteries. Hannah runs a bake shop, and she also includes recipes. So throughout the book, she bakes different things for her shop, and she will put the recipes for those bakery items in the book. So I think it's really fun and cute. So this one's obviously gonna have some cupcake recipes in it, so maybe that'll be a fun little Christmas treat to make while reading the book.
All right, a couple things. First of all, in my first video, because I've told you guys that I was having a hard time, it jumps perspectives. And sometimes when there's multiple characters, I struggle a little bit trying to keep track of everyone. In the video, I just rewatched it and I completely don't say the character's name right. I say Rachel, and it's Madeline slash Maddie, they call her. She's the one who escaped the killer. Her best friend, quote unquote. You'll see why, if you read this, why I say quote unquote, Steph. She's the one who actually got murdered that night. I don't know where I got the name Rachel, because there isn't a character named Rachel, so I'm not sure. Anywho, I just read a chapter that I hate when I read a chapter and I want to keep going and I have to go to work because something just big happened. The podcaster is trying to research what happened because he feels like the whole truth isn't out there, and he retraces the steps of Maddie when she's 17 and goes to this party where everything happened, and he goes and he's doing this Instagram live and he doesn't see the person, but he gets knocked out. And it was just a really good chapter and scene, and I have a feeling, I don't know if it's going to be one of those things where you're being led to think it's one person and it's kind of a trap because it's not really that person, because I feel like it's almost obvious that her friend Badger might be behind some of this, but I feel like you're being led there just to, there's going to be a plot twist. We'll see. But I gotta go to work.
Hey y'all, I have finished Christmas Presents by Lisa Unger. The book is very short, the spacing is big, the typing is big. So this is a book, if you are looking to sit down and just read a book cover to cover in one day, I think this is a good book for you. In this book, you're following Madeline, and she's the only survivor of a boy named Evan who is accused of murdering her best friend and suspected in the disappearance of her two other friends, which happen to be twin sisters, which still to present day they have not found. Now, during the night of the disappearance, there's a big party going on, and Madeline's dating Evan. She's really interested in him, and he seems to be liking her, and they have a party at his house. So at this party, she gets drugged and Evan tries to take advantage of her. Her best friend ends up getting murdered and the two twin sisters end up go missing. And her brain is fuzzy because she was drugged, but she remembers some specific things that she stands by, and she testifies against Evan at trial when she's younger, and he ends up going to jail. In present day, there is a famous podcaster that rolls into town, and he buys a home in the town, and he is kind of researching into Evan's situation because he says that there's a lot of things that don't add up. For example, where did the twin sisters go? Why didn't they ever find their bodies if Evan killed them too? So he's starting to do some digging, and this just unearths this whole mystery around what happened that night and who is the murderer. Did Evan really murder her best friend, or is it something that's not true and she's just remembering it incorrectly? And if he did murder them, then what happened to the twins? So you're kind of unraveling this little mystery. So this just reminded me a lot of Dark Corners, which is the book that I read by Megan Golden, and I've done a review on that if you want to check it out. But you have a podcaster that is looking into an old crime. Someone was convicted. The evidence isn't quite adding up, and he's trying to get to the bottom of the situation and figure out, is this person really to blame, or is this an innocent person sitting in jail? In the course of that, you uncover all these details and unravel this mystery to these crimes. So it was a fun little read. Was it mind-blowing? Though I think everyone just has to go out and buy this book and read it right now. No. It was okay. It was a good book. I would recommend it, especially if you're looking for a real quick read. You can just sit and enjoy in one day. Then this is a good book for you, but it's not anything that's just gonna, blow your mind and just change your whole world around.
All right. Final thoughts on Lisa Unger's Christmas Presents. I flew through the final couple chapters. There was a couple points I wanted to do a video since we were vlogging it, because there were just a few twists and turns, but I couldn't put it down, which is a good sign, at least for me, for a book. And the only complaint I really have about this book is, and I know it was a novella, so I get that it wasn't meant to be that long, but I feel like I really wanted, more in some way. And when I was thinking about that, I don't even know what more. Maybe the characters weren't as drawn out as I would like them to be. I'm not entirely sure what I felt for wanting it longer, but that's the only thing that was just my instinct that I recognized, that I really wished it was longer. I really like Lisa Unger's writing, which is part of maybe why I wanted it to be longer. And I don't know. And then at the beginning, I think it was more me. I just was, as you guys saw, I was really getting confused with a lot of the characters. And apparently I even added one named Rachel because I was talking about Rachel and I had meant Maddie. Obviously, I'm not going to ruin the twists at the end, but I don't even want to say if I was right or wrong, because that's kind of telling you guys what it is or not, which is pretty much a spoiler. But I was a little surprised, not too surprised, but a little surprised as to who ended up being the killer. I almost said something and I don't want to ruin it. So I enjoyed reading it. It wasn't a 5-star for me. I would say it was like right below a 4. So I rounded up and gave it a 4. I still feel my most favorite book from her, I think, is Confessions on the 745. But in that one, you were seeing more than one perspective, but it was only 2 women, and I felt like the story was really rounded out. I wasn't wishing for more. I felt like the twists were really good, and I just love that book so much. I'm a huge fan of Lisa Unger. This was perfect for the Christmas holiday, even if it's about murder, because it takes place right around Christmas, and Christmas is throughout it, so it did fit the theme very well. Really liked it, but just not 5-star for me. It was a 4-star. So That's my wrap up on this, and until next time.